Oh, baby, here we go. The big brawl with Luis is coming up. We're as prepared as we can be, and tomorrow's the big day. We'll be up against Luis, and this time he'll be ready and waiting for you. Captain, surely you have reservations about this. No, I'm built different. Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, but is your mind truly clear of doubt? I mean to say, if you strike down a man who is not your true enemy, will you truly be able to call yourself a righteous prince? What do you mean, not my true enemy? Not my true enemy? What are you talking about? Luis is absolutely my true enemy. He's like murdering people to take the throne and is trying to like rule. He like killed Fidelio. He attacked innocent people and killed Fidelio, my friend. Or at least the brother of one of my friends. Like, what are you talking about? He's as much my enemy as anyone is. I don't feel that way at all.
It'll be fine.
My heart is clear. I know what must be done.
Yes.
Then I'm glad to hear it.
However,
I challenge you on this only because I think it foolish to be brought to a standstill by it.
may I speak?
I do not believe Luis innocent in the slightest. On the contrary, in but a few months, he has slain the king and your comrade besides. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it any wonder that people seek to end his life? He has lived by a doctrine of power, and his every step has been in service of that purpose. He sealed his fate, and you, as a contender for the throne, should not waste time deliberating over whether such an ideology is fit to rule. Is that not so?
It'll be all right.
You're already in second place in this contest. Countless people have thrown their support behind you, never forget that. Alright, that was a little weird. Jaime made a pretty good point, did he? If you're gonna take back the country, you can't let any self-doubt stop you in your tracks here. When the devs wrote the story for this game, did they think, oh man, some people might actually side with Luis? Because, like, I can't imagine playing this game and thinking, like, you know, maybe Luis is on to something. Especially not after Rella was like, by the way, I could, like, sense his magla and he wants to, like, overrun the country with humans. Like, there's no amount of... How could you possibly have self-doubt in this moment?
We can't lose.
Everything we've done has been for this day, so let's take it all in and stick it to Luis, for Rella and Grius and everyone we've lost. Well, not so much for Rella. I'm actually a little annoyed that you say for Rella here and not for Fidelio. It should be for Fidelio and Grius and everyone we've lost. Fidelio is way more important to our group than Rella ever was. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. All the pain we've endured will be our power, be your power in the end, even.
Right.
Something anime friendship. I don't want a king who believes might makes right. There's no reason you can't be a contender yourself.
Besides.
And now that you've declared yourself the prince, it's not like you can afford to fall on your face in front of everyone anyway. Quest clear. I have prepared for the final battle.
That reminds me.
Nearest apparently wants to make some kind of grand entrance in a grand trad with the Sky Runner. Despite everything going on, that's his biggest priority, but maybe that's exactly what we need to make this work.
Okay then.
Well then, let's get a full night's rest so that we're ready for tomorrow. I was wondering if Gallica might hit rank 7 here, but it doesn't look like she's going to.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It's finally here.
So we set off for the royal capital and the decisive battle of our lives. I'm a little disappointed. I had just begun to grow accustomed to the cold. Cannot say the same. Regardless, we've done all that we can here. Let us depart with our heads held high, yes? Nearest sure seems thrilled about arriving by sky instead of teleportation magic. All it takes is a day to get there from here. We'll have them city folks shaking in their boots. Let's meet at the runner once we've polished off breakfast. They gonna give me an animated cutscene? Oh.
At last, only a day remains.
Whatever Luis throws at us, this is where we end it.
Between him and the Criers, he's certainly made a production of this. You don't suppose it's a trap?
Nah, he just loves a battle that'll make history. That's the bastard through and through.
Indeed. The man's in first place right now. Not much he stands to gain from subterfuge. But I'll admit, I have my own suspicions.
What? Losing your nerve, old fella? Me? I'm ready to lay the bastard out. I owe him at least one solid whack in the face from Ardell.
You can start with one for Dell. Give him 100 for yourself. If he becomes king, the kingdom is finished. Maybe even destroyed from the sounds of it.
Rella said as much too. About the country being overrun with hordes of humans. That might be his real aim.
I am so interested in where the game is gonna go after this fight. Because there's no way it's the end of the game. So, like, there's gotta be something with, like, the lost civilization under the Dragon Temple, Rella saying that Luis, like, has some kind of magla that says that he wants to, like, overrun with humans and, like, humans in general. I'm very excited.
Though I can't for the life of me think why Luis would want that. I thought he'd made his name as this grand human slayer.
At the very least, we know that Luis will not wield the king's magic to save this land.
We have our own future we're dreaming of. For Maria and Fabienne. For Grius and Rella. We've got to win this. For everyone's sakes.
Still really, I know that Basilio just talked about Fidelio, but still very annoyed that Gallica says Rella instead of Fidelio here. Oh, here we go. I feel like Rella is maybe the one character in the game that they really dropped the ball with. All the other characters I think they do pretty well with, to varying degrees, some better than others. But I feel like Rella is definitely the character when I think in this game of, like, which character did Metaphor, like, kind of not characterize or build up well enough? And I'm like, yeah, Rella. They kind of, like, she was just kind of there, it felt like, sometimes, and then had this big twist that was supposed to really make you care, but just didn't make me care at all. They nailed it with Fidelio, though.
You would pursue peril.
Our course is set for the capital and the final confrontation with Luis. Is everyone prepared? Of course.
Great.
Good
Let's
to
move
hear.
out.
Let's go.
The stage is set for the decisive battle to take place in Grand Trad. And so the Gauntlet Runner takes to the sky. He does not return within the hush of teleportation magic as a mere wanderer, but with the fanfare required of one who would claim to be prince. He is a boy no more. He stands now on equal footing with Luis, and his triumphant descent over the capital will finally make that known, whether or not his gambit is only a means to an end.
He's here! Wow! It's really him!
Welcome back.
Your Highness!
Hacker voice, we're in. Oh, look up in the meteor. It's just me and Luis's faces.
It's His Royal Highness the Prince! We've been waiting for you! Go and teach that damn Luis a lesson!
Finally! This is better than any of the fables. I'm putting all my money on Luis to win.
Sounds like they're more excited about the spectacle than about the prince being alive. Still, suppose it makes sense.
But by the faces in the sky and upon the rock, we are squarely set in second place. Even with the gap between us and Luis, the prince has faithful supporters.
Though 'tis not truly His Highness's face wrought in stone, but our captain's. After all this time, I cannot help but feel conflicted.
Luis spares nothing for an old woman like me. Saint Rella spoke truth. We need the help of His Royal Highness the Prince.
He's the boy with a saint's blessing. He's got to be genuine. If the Sanctus Church's power is waning, should I take His Highness's side over Luis?
Even after her confession, they still keep her words close. I suppose no amount of past sins could make them forget her genuine kindness. Seems strange to say, but we owe her a great deal. Without her, the people would never have calmed, much less placed their trust in us. We can't let them down.
But looking around the city, some of the fervor seems beyond reason.
Your Highness, you can't stop it, Luis. You gotta kill all the idiots who believe in him. They're not right in the head.
All right, that guy needs to be arrested. That's too far.
That right? You're the ones who aren't right in the head. It's because of stiff old cowards like you that this country's been spinning its wheels. Not ever getting better.
Then why hasn't Luis shown up yet, eh? Sounds like he's your coward, after he arranged all this too.
True enough. If he doesn't even show up after all this fuss he's made, everyone would feel like fools.
Probably going for another big, grandstanding entrance like at the royal funeral.
Don't care what he's planning. Either way, he's dead meat.
Save your fury for the fight ahead. But still.
Over there, His Royal Highness the Prince has arrived.
Wow, and Lady Juna as well.
I say, nothing wrong with an adoring public, but this is getting more claustrophobic than the engine room. We don't want to get stuck. I'm popping back in the rubber.
Let's head to the Hushed Honeybee Inn for now. I'm sure Maria will be happy to see us back.
I saw Maria literally yesterday.
All the customers say they're on your side. I was surprised at how popular you are.
Thanks for helping, Maria. We couldn't have done it without you.
I tried my very, very best.
I never thought Luis would be the one throwing down the gauntlet to you. If he'd survived, I'm sure he'd say the same. You'd better get some rest tonight. Come on, Maria. It's time you went to bed.
I wish we could stay up and talk more. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be cheering for you.
It's finally happening.
We've got to win this. For Grius' sake, too.
Victory is in our grasp. We once thought it impossible to save His Highness the Prince, after all, and he now lives.
But without the king's wards, we'll be fighting on even ground. He won't make this easy on us.
The king's magic lived up to the legends. Capable of shaking the world itself. Every man, woman, and child has been at its whims for months.
Not the kind of power any of us want in Luis's hands.
But will this fight truly settle everything? By the spell's own rules, the throne will go to whoever wins the most support. Even after this battle, the crown's fate isn't set. We saw how the people's hearts have been whipped to dangerous passions. When the dust settles...
Whatever they make of it, we've come this far. All we can do now is finish our fight and strike to kill. Any less, and Luis will cut us down.
Indeed. Let us now devote ourselves to victory, and then worry of what comes after. We must believe in all we've yet accomplished.
This should be our last battle against Luis. I'm just trying to stay hopeful, knowing how far we've come. Now you've awoken your archetype, forged friendships, and taken so many burdens on your shoulders. You've really risen to this fight.
Rank 7? Rank 7 for Gallico before the fight?
This is just the beginning. We've still got a long road ahead.
True enough. We haven't even won against Luis yet. And even when we do, that won't be the end of it. But it takes me back. If the prince could see you now, he'd be pretty proud of you. Don't you think? I mean, you and he were best friends. Best friends. Wait, what?
What? What is this? Has there been some kind of, like, memory shenanigans? Can we ever get through one Atlus game without memory shenanigans taking place?
What's the matter?
Oh, sorry. I felt like I'd misspoke for a second or something. Don't mind me.
What if I am actually the prince, but there's been some kind of mind manipulation nonsense that makes me think that other guy is the one that we've been calling the prince is the prince? That would be wild.
Anyway, we'll make sure this is the end for Luis. Gotta report our victory to His Highness personally, right?
I can sense Gallica's strong determination and resolve. Rank 7!
It's like I'm seeing the prince smile again.
Yeah, no shot that there's not one more deadline if Gallica isn't even at 8 here. I just want to be able to get the final form of the mage, dang it.
Right. Let's get some rest. We'll need it come tomorrow.
It's been a while.
Feels like ages since I was last here.
So?
Best way to get prepared for tomorrow is by getting some rest.
That man...
Regardless of our aims, it seems Luis has had his eye on you for some time. No doubt he's been anticipating the showdown in the royal capital. Well, if he asks a fight of us, a fight he shall have. We stand proud against him.
I got ya.
Wants to settle it one-on-one, eh? Of course he does. When all you care about is power, everything has to be a duel. Yeah, he challenged us to an Agni Kai. Speaking as his old right-hand man, I can tell you, the man's strong. Terrifying strong. Can't afford to get careless. I'm worried about how this fight is gonna go, but we'll see.
Now then.
Thanks to Rella, we've won quite a sudden groundswell of public support, but Luis's supporters number many still. The only way to get more support is to fight Luis and lay him low.
At last.
This is it. Standing here takes me back to the royal funeral. But today we're more powerful than we were then. This time we'll defeat Luis and avenge Grius. No. All who have gone too soon.
You know...
All the customers at the inn say they're cheering for you. You've beaten a lot of bad guys already, haven't you? I'm sure you'll win. I'm on it.
But then...
There used to be many candidates for the tournament, but now there are only a conspicuous few who remain. Luis may be a strong opponent, but there are so many people who support us. Let's give this battle the best we've got and live up to their expectations.
It's coming up.
It's finally time. I'm almost impressed that Luis would challenge us to a fair fight, unlike those church scum who keep everything in the shadows. We can't let Luis get anywhere near the throne. We charge in with our best foot forward, for us and for Rella, who trusted us to do just that.
Make yourself at home.
Tomorrow's battle will be historic, won't it? I've readied your bed so that you can rest well. Thank you. Whoop. All right, chat, here we go. Let's do this.
Good night.
At long last, my lord, our investigations have borne fruit. We know where the true prince lies. Those loyalists who disappeared with the prince led us right to him. We found traces of their coming and going.
Where was he hiding?
Far to the west of the royal capital, deep within a forest said to bewitch those who should wander in. An old village, erased from today's maps. That said, against all odds, it seems that this place is...
The lost village of the Elda. Last trampled by Fortin's troops, sent to burn it to the ground.
You knew then?
I see now. To hide in a place publicly declared as destroyed. Quite a gambit. The prince was born there, you know. An illegitimate son, after the past king's heart was drawn to a woman of the village in his youthful years of debauchery.
What? Then the prince really does bear Elder blood.
Fortin did not raise the village for any defiance of his scriptures. He thought only to eliminate an inconvenient heir, a threat to his power, before his birth was known. The prince's survival, his complete disappearance, this was the missing piece. Zorba, go and snuff them out for good.
Sir, consider them annihilated. I've been hoping for an opportunity to test this newfound power.
Now, the battle at the royal capital looms. I must begin my own preparations. If you call yourself the prince, then I will give you a prince's end. And I have just the spell to do it.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Good morning. Did you sleep well? Ready to face the day?
Bro, I am so hyped to see where this goes.
This time, I won't let you down.
Stop that. You never have before, and you won't start today. Try to relax, and don't let this weigh too heavy on your shoulders.
But you have to come back, no matter what, okay?
I confess my mind strays back to the royal funeral. Yet we are more than we ever were then. Now we have the power to see this through.
Let's get out there, thrash him, and come back here to celebrate.
Never thought we'd find ourselves back at the Grand Cathedral for the final showdown. Let's pull ourselves together, ready our supplies, and give him hell.
Let's head there.
Luis awaits within the Grand Cathedral. I should go there.
Can we talk?
Make sure that you have everything you'll need. I mean, I didn't even think they'd give me an opportunity here to, like, set up. So, I've got my team layout set. I have my everything, basically. I think I'm as ready to go as I'm gonna be. The one thing I could look at is to make sure that everyone's inheritance is set up. Didn't you? Yeah, I was about to say, I got a new slot for you. Is there anything else I want to add on you? You have Hamoun, Magic Circle, and Dacunda. I definitely want you to have Dacunda. We're going to end up needing that probably. Bum, 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 bum.